Welcome back to the last edition for this month. Stay tuned for the astrology, and we are going to check in with the karmic third party. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings 5D, a psychic medium, clairvoyant, and intuitive astrologer, as well as a soul coach on your twin flame path. If you need a booking or you want to get this energy pre-released, you can find all the information directly below. Now, we are taking a look at the karmic third party energy. This is a pretty profound portal, and most of the advice I have been giving to those of you that I coach both within the members zone, on YouTube, within our super chats. Click the bell if you want to join those. What I have been saying is we have been waiting for this last eclipse in the house of Pisces within that nodal phase. It has shifted. However, this can feel like a wrap up and a fresh beginning. Now, this very much linking to the 12th house, which is interesting because we have this individual looking at angels here. And we're going to get into the context of why this is important and how this can play out for these individuals. The 12th house can be a few things. It can be spiritual, it can be psychic, it can be isolation, imprisonment, the house of our undoing. It also can be endings, which is interesting because it was the North Node. And so both the South and the North Node were having a conversation piece in a very similar way. And how our ascension has been playing out, as well as this karmic cycle. For those of you that have been watching me for a long time, these energies were potentially playing out as well as far back as 2017-18. So we have in different ways viewed this particular area of life in a very profound way. Our belief systems, the spiritual connection, signs and synchronicities, and moving into the identity of our true core of who we are, feeling insecure and having these third party situations. And the karmic knot is no different. We were waiting for these final kind of placements to actually wrap these circumstances up. So it is a bit of goodbye, and it is a brand new beginning, and it doesn't mean that beginnings aren't beautiful and they can't be, but a little bit like going to a funeral of our old life, it can feel bittersweet because it means an old chapter is going and it has resonance to us because we did have the connection to it, and a new uncertain future is merging. And sometimes, like any new year, we kind of want to jump into the mix of it. We want to get out of Dodge and leave it. And other times it can be that we feel as though it's something that feels more familiar, similar to New Year and Christmas, and we just want to settle into that. This can be a pretty profound frequency we're about to move through. And for some of you, it could be that you're also feeling this both psychically and in the 3D. Now, I see that this is divinely guided, however we perceive it. This person does believe that they are protected. Okay, they could be praying, they could be manifesting, they could be looking into this. They might be trying to feel through this journey, but having faith nevertheless. And universe is, they could be questioning, why have you forsaken me? Where are you, my guides? Why will you not help me? And we're looking at the past position. Now, whenever I get this image with the daisy, I recall many moons ago sitting there and doing that love me, loves me not energy. Okay. This is in the past position, and this is the message I'm getting. They love me not. Now we look to the top right. We have unity in reverse, which is potentially showing, hey, I'm not really connected to this, or it's going, or there is a disconnection here. I do think this is actually keeping this individual up at night, either at night or their intuition is on fire and they're realizing, hey, I'm asking for help, I'm asking for support, I'm desiring something. Why isn't it showing up in the shape and fashion that I wish? Universe knows, and generally prior to incarnation, we do actually choose a bunch of events that is supposed to occur for our higher good. It's part of our soul path. And so not always do we agree with how that should play out, especially in the 3D. We're like, why do I have to go through this? This isn't feeling great. This is keeping this person up at night, and it's causing grave concern. It's making them really ferret. It's us. They're trying to get their guides to help them. They're wondering if their guides have forsaken them, and they're wondering if they're going to get back on track to where they need to be, or if they're even on the right path at all. Now, they are very concerned about where they wanted to be in life. And again, you know, regardless of whether they're in a connection currently or the connection is falling down around them, which we're going to go into clarifying, there is a significant amount of turmoil in this person's life at this point in time. Either they're wanting to leave, or it's left, or it's just not happening the way they wanted it to. And it does feel a huge challenge. It feels a challenge that they're trying to move through. They do want to have love in their life. They do want to have wealth in their life. But they're feeling as though it's out of their reach, or it's being taken away, or it's changing and ending and going. And what they had planned and how they had planned it, they don't believe there's going to be a rebirth here. And for some, that is definitely so. For some, in certain areas of our life at a collective level and an individual level, even though there could be an ending, it's not going to be the same again. It cannot go back to the way it was. We're exiting those nodal phases. We've learned a lot, and we're moving into this rebirth. And this individual here, especially with the outcome card, the birth energy is in reverse, okay? So it's stuck in the middle of an old cycle that's wrapping up, and it's causing an element of anxiety. That anxiety more than likely is because they're not trusting the process. They don't realize that these mountains that we constantly have been going up and down over has really been playing out from way back when, i.e. 2017-18. This will give them some relief if they can just go with the flow of the tides. They may need to take a minute to unpack this, to understand it, of the reasons why these things are happening. There could be some personal circumstances that are playing out in their life that does feel is taking them all the way back to their childhood. It could be a loss of a loved one. And I don't like to say that, not for anyone. But there is sadness here about these things. They miss the innocence and the purity of life. They're wondering how things became so contaminated. They're wanting the purity of life back to the way it was before. They're having to unhash some old situation that they would rather not. And they know that once it is over. But there is a completion here, and they're showing me different storylines. For some, this can be revealing something that was done in the dark, and maybe they hold some shame and regret about. And it was a turning point in their life. Once this happened, something completely changed within the connection of the karmic relationship. For others, this is in general their life, some of their life choices. It's almost like going to a counselor and just getting everything up and out, which is going to make them feel lighter. But it's also the sadness of maybe some poor choices, or what they believe were poor choices, and where it's brought them to this point in time. And they do directly want to have some happiness moving ahead. But it does feel like a lot is happening to them, and sometimes we can feel that we're being punished. Does that make sense? It can feel like we're being punished. It can feel like, why hasn't anything really turned out the way it was supposed to? Their guides are with them, and their guides are trying to help them through this, and it is to end this karmic cycle. They are ascending into a brand new chapter and journey. And especially if they were with the wrong people, the wrong places, the wrong times, this is helping them make peace with that. This is helping them actually be open to a new chapter with somebody who is divine for them and someone who is willing to walk, climb mountains and to have that rebirth. And it's more than likely someone who's gone through something quite similar. But nevertheless, this is going to be an ending. It is causing some significant turmoil. Maybe even needing added support and faith in the process, but definitely there is a bigger reason for all that is happening. Now, we do have all of these out this week. I hope you join us next week for the update. Let's see how the other side of this portal actually unfolds for all of us. I wish you the best. And if you want to look at the masculine, feminine, and karmic third party, you can take a look and follow us for all the energy updates, as well as if you do want to sign up on our website to get a booking or even to join our Sage in a Circle network, you can. Within the membership, we host community, chat rooms, pre-release content, network only content, as well as blogs. And you get to communicate with all of us, including me, on a regular. Take care. Otherwise, I'll see you for the next edition.